Wellesley College students and for having the foresight to act. And we also want to thank our town legislators for coming here.
I'm Maggie O'Connor.
I'm Bonnie Kapoor.
I'm Jessica Ostfeld. And we are 3 of the many organizers for this event. You probably know one of us. Just before we get into it, I want to make a warning that photos and videos are being taken. If you have any uncomfortableness about that, come up to one of us or the other organizers and we can figure something out. We also have a first aid kit and water jugs being brought to us by Allison Carey in a car. It's right back there, so if at any point in the time you need any first aid, water, you just want to take a little break, Allison Carey's back there. She is waving and she has great shiny sunglasses on right now. Raise your hand high! Now, I want to know who here is concerned about climate change? I cannot hear you! Who is concerned about climate change? Who demands that our leaders act now? Tell me why! Shout it out to your neighbor! Tell me! Tell us! Shout it out to the world! Why? I don't know! So I see a lot of emotions going on right now. I see passion, I see anger, and I see a lot of hope. Most of all, I see hope. More and more people are becoming aware of the perils of climate change, and more people are asking our leaders to take action. We all have our reasons for being here, but what matters is that we can unite on this issue. That climate change is an issue and we need to act now. Woo! We want and we need. We have the right to a clean planet for our children. We have the right to a stable future. We have the right to clean, accessible water for everybody. We have the right to have access to healthy food for everybody. We have the right to a planet where all creatures can survive and thrive. And so, we demand action. We demand from the town of Wellesley a formal commitment by 2020 to go to 100% renewable energy and a plan to get there. We require these plans do not negatively impact already marginalized communities and people at risk. Furthermore, we demand that 100% renewable energy for the town of Wellesley is achieved by 2025. We demand that this is a fair and just transition for all of us. Today. Talk to me or another e-board member if you want to speak throughout the rally. This is the time for the community to unite, share stories, and demand action. Now we have our first speaker, Claire Hayhow from Renew Wellesley. Hello, everyone. I want to thank you all so much for coming out today and showing
our community, the issues of environmental justice matter.
I'm 11.
I'm Claire Hayhow, and a Wellesley student and a founding member of Renew Wellesley, an environmental justice organization that has been pushing Wellesley's college's administration to show up on issues of environmental justice. As someone who has been working on this issue for a while on campus, it is so exciting to see all of you show up and discuss a way forward in the middle of this climate crisis. I know that we often discuss the implications of climate change, like how it is going to disproportionately affect low-income communities and communities of color, and how we only have 11 years to figure out our plan. Meanwhile, administrators have been telling us, and those in power have been telling us, that what we really need to do is take shorter showers and use metal straws. Okay. Yeah. They send our activism into committees to die and to continue to set unambitious goals. This is not the kind of change that is going to protect our communities, the places that we call home, or the people that we love. And so now is the time to ask for more from those in power. This is why I am asking for Wellesley College to take responsibility for the impacts that we are having for destroying the air that we breathe in this community and for contributing to the climate crisis. We can no longer have plans that allow for disposable people or disposable places. This is why Renew Wellesley, taking after the most recent report from the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change and the goals of the town, demand that Wellesley College go 100% renewable by the year 2025. We simply do not have any more time to waste, and we will not allow administrators to hold the threat of taking financial aid away over our heads. Go through this transition in a way that will simply move the burden of our extraction and consumption away from the town of Wellesley and to other students' homes and communities. We will focus our plans in a way that will center those who will be most affected by the climate crisis. We will create our solutions around ideas of equality and justice and demand a sustainable and just transition. No more will we pollute our air and water and soil on campus. We say no more. So, I know it doesn't always feel like it, but we right here, we're the ones with the power. So, I want you to help me send a message to Wellesley, the town, and the college. Will you help me tell them that we will always stand up and fight back against issues of environmental injustice? Alright, so this is a chance, so I need you guys to help me out. So Wellesley, can you tell me, what do we do when the air that we breathe is under attack? What do we do?
Fight back!
What do we do when the water we drink is under attack?
Stand up! Fight back!
What do we do when the earth that we need is under attack?
Stand up! Fight back!
What do we do?
Stand up! Fight back!
What do we do?
Stand up! Fight back!
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Claire. Next we have Beth DeSombre. You might have had her for a poli-sci or environmental studies class at Wellesley College. Yes, she deserves it. She's going to speak about an educator's perspective. So, welcome, Beth.
Hello? 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 Okay, hey everyone. So I'm a faculty member. I'm one of the founding members of the Environmental Studies Department at Wellesley. And one of the things I study is environmental behavior. And I'm here to talk to you about systems and structures. Doesn't sound very sexy. So I'm assuming we already know that climate change is a problem and that we need to do something, all of us, to change the behavior that contributes to climate change. So the question is how? Lots of people will tell you that you should make lots of individual changes, those straws and shorter showers, to lessen your environmental footprint. And that's true, we should all do those things, but we can't get where we need to be as a town, as a college, as a state, as a country, or as a world with those kinds of actions. We need to stop trying to convince other people or yourselves to be better environmentalists and convince the structures to change that make everybody a better environmentalist. So obviously the best place to do that would be on the national level, and changing our national politics right now should be a really big priority for anybody that cares about the climate. We need to organize, donate, volunteer, vote. The most important thing we can do for the planet in the world right now is to change the national politics of this country. So please do that. The moment when the national politics is not on our side, for those of us who care about climate change, we can work on other systems and structures. We can change rules, incentives, social norms, so that everybody behaves better collectively because it makes sense to do it. That's why the demands that this march has made of the college and town matter. We need to change the systems. Rather than asking people to remember to turn off the lights, we need to make sure that our electricity is provided from renewable sources. Better than yelling at people who are driving their cars, we need to make sure that there are bike lanes and that public transportation is accessible and affordable to everybody. We can try to subsidize commuter rail passes, but we can make the town bus lines work better. We can make the exchange bus easier to use, the Senate bus free. We can do a lot of things to make transportation. Rather than insulating your own house or choosing responsible building materials, we can make sure that you can't get a permit to build anything unless it meets really high green standards. Spend your own money, but better than that is prioritizing where the college's endowment is invested. So think about the carbon footprint of your meals, but make sure that your cafeterias or your dining halls serve low carbon foods. Change the policies and practices at your school, your dorm, your business, your neighborhood association, your town, your college, anywhere is better than just being a good environmentalist. Let's make all of us collectively into good environmentalists.
I especially want to thank the Enact women from Wellesley College for organizing this event, along with Regina LaRoque and Phyllis Thierman for all the help. For those of you who don't know me, I am Bonnie Kapoor, a freshman at Wellesley High School, and I'm also the founder of the Project Plastic. We're an organization that helps remove and reduce plastic from local communities by arranging plastic pickup days and organizing other campaigns. If you want more information, you can follow our Instagram at Project Plastic USA. Our next plastic pickup is around the corner. I was inspired to start the organization after taking a trip to India and seeing how people were forced to live surrounded by piles of non-recycled plastic. When I came back, I decided that I wanted to make a change. To start, I wanted to do something small, which would eventually create a greater impact. I believe the voice of one individual can spark the voice of 1,000 others. This is shown through the climate strike, where the voice of one 16-year-old girl Greta Thunberg inspired the entire world to take action. Today, all around the world, millions of voices are speaking up, and maybe, just maybe, the government will listen to the children who are pleading them to make a change. As we know, climate change is happening and it's real. The only way to save our environment is for everyone to unify, get involved, and make small changes. As Steve Jobs said, the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. I'm gonna do a little chant here. Hey, hey, ho, ho! Fossil fuels have got to go!
Hey, hey, ho, ho! Fossil fuels have got to go! Hey, hey, ho, ho! Fossil fuels have got to go! Hey.
Hi, everyone! I just want to say, as much as we're talking about democracy, this town is not what democracy looks like. Democracy does not look like the white and wealthy trying to appease their white guilt through climate change. This town is built on the racial and class segregation, and climate change are going to affect Black and Indigenous people of the United States. If we're not talking about them, then you should not be talking. The type of green capitalism that we use to make ourselves feel better will not help everyone in the long end. Capitalism won't help everyone in the long end, period, because it wasn't meant to help everyone. So I would like us all to chant that this is not what democracy looks like. Democracy looks like Black and brown people fighting for all of us. This is not what democracy looks like.
Next, we have Bella O'Connor reciting a poem.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. I was invited to share a poem with you guys today. Not a poem that I've written with myself, but a poem that I heard really recently that touched my heart that I wanted to share with everyone here today. This poem is called "We Whose Journeys Are Always Beginning." We whose journeys are always beginning, whose mission always awaits us, we whose visions are bent on loving, we gather together here. We gather as a community drawn out of common need, each toting our own carpet bags of treasures and dreams. We gather together seeking meaning, yearning to understand life in all its dimensions as it challenges and expands, burdens as it consoles and heals. We gather together with questions, the kind of questions that need us to provoke a path of action. We gather together with hope, the kind of hope that pulses on through uncertainty. We gather with tenderness, the kind of tenderness that can only be born from knowing human capabilities as well as human imperfections. We gather together wanting certainty and having none. But we are wakeful to possibilities as we seek discernment and gentle judgment. We gather then unbound but close. We gather together here thirsting. Thank you so much for allowing me to speak today and sharing this gift of today with you. I know that there are many gifts of change to come in the future, and I'm so happy to see everyone here today. Thank you.
Now, I would like to welcome Kayla Webb from the Wellesley College Republicans to say a few words.
Clear-cut logs from Wellesley! Clear-cut logs from Wellesley!
Clear-cut! Right driving by.
Hi everybody, my name is Kayla Webb and I am the president of the Wellesley College Republicans as well as an environmental studies major. I'm young! I've grown as part of a generation that has later winters, hotter summers, and stronger storms. But while we've got more incentive to act, acting on climate change is by no means a new idea. In 2008, our party platform officially demanded action on climate change. We recognized that it was a human problem that would only be fixed by a human-sponsored solution. Somewhere things have gone terribly wrong. I still agree with this policy, and I'm not alone. The Republican governor of Massachusetts, Charlie Baker, has urged our Congress to create federal emissions targets, fund research on climate change, and consider climate change resilience in more federal funding. And on a state level, he wants to raise state taxes to help fund efforts against climate change. But we know this isn't enough. This march is evidence that we know national and even statewide actions are too large to be able to craft specific, effective climate policy. If we want things to change, towns like Wellesley need to be centers of action. Towns like Wellesley need to look at their local economies and provide proper incentives to do the right thing. To provide functioning public transit so that people don't want to drive their cars into traffic jams. To provide public recycling bins along the main street we just walked on, instead of throwing everything in the town dump. At the same time, Wellesley's successes are far more impactful than any state-sponsored climate campaign can be. The town-wide yard sale tomorrow is a perfect example of how reducing our carbon footprint through reuse is a popular, engaging event. Wellesley businesses not only encourage you to shop local, which is great for our economy, but it cuts down on the amount of gas we waste to get things in our hands. And they expect you to bring your own bags to shop with, because we've had a plastic bag ban since 2017. Wellesley knows the basics. All we're asking for is that they commit in writing to realistic, economically friendly change. The Wellesley College Republicans would like to reignite the decade-old party call, to which I quote, "Invest in research and deployment of renewable energy technologies and commit to a fast-track investment of billions over the next 10 years to establish a green energy sector." Right here, right now, in Wellesley, Massachusetts.
No more coal, no more oil. Keep that carbon in the soil. No more coal, no more oil. Keep that carbon in the soil.
Now I would like to welcome our next speaker, Sarah Benson. She is part of the Wellesley College government, and I'm so excited to have her speak. Welcome, Sarah, wherever you are.
Don't look so nice. Stop it. Hi, folks. My name is Sara Sanson Hernandez, and I'm a junior here at Wellesley College. I'm also serve as the organization chair here at the Wellesley College government. I'm so honored to be here and be invited by my dear friend Jess to speak to all of you about how climate change has affected my life. For those of you who don't know me, I was born and raised in San Juan, Puerto Rico. It is nothing short of paradise, which is amazing food, friendly people, rich history, and a plethora of natural resources, including thousands of miles worth of rivers, forests, caves, wetlands, you name it, we have it. But all of this amazing natural beauty was threatened by not one, by two Category 4 hurricanes that back and back wrecked my homeland. Today marks the second anniversary of Hurricane Maria making landfall in Puerto Rico. September 20th, 2017 will forever be a date that will haunt my community. We had no water, no electricity, little food, no cell phone coverage, no gasoline for months. My grandmother, who is an Alzheimer's patient, lost her power on September 12, 2017 when Hurricane Irma made landfall. She didn't get her power back until January 1st, 2018. Seeing my homeland destroyed on TV and not knowing if my family was okay was the worst way to spend the second week here at Wellesley. Every time I turn on the TV to watch Hurricane Maria coverage, many news outlets use a clip of my high school street being pummeled by rushing water and rootless winds. Needless to say, it was one of the hardest things that I've ever had to experience. It was reported that over 3,000 people died because of Hurricane Maria, making it the third most deadliest hurricane in American history. To put that in perspective, that's twice the estimated fatalities of Hurricane Katrina and around the same fatalities as the 9/11 terrorist attack. Hundreds and thousands of Puerto Ricans made exodus to the United States after extensive damage in the island left many with no home and no future. Maria was so catastrophic that the World Meteorological Organization removed the name Maria from its roster of names for hurricanes and tropical cyclones. There's no secret that climate change has contributed to an increase of dangerous and unpredictable natural disasters and extreme weather conditions. Let's not forget that this year alone, we have seen the effects of the California wildfires and earthquakes, the destruction of the Bahamas thanks to Hurricane Dorian, extreme heat here in Massachusetts over the summer, and the multiple tornadoes, floods, and mudslides that pummeled the Midwest. Right now, there's a record 6 active tropical cyclones in the Atlantic and Pacific basins. Let me be clear, climate change is happening, and there are real-world consequences to ignoring it. We need to protect our planet so that future generations don't have to worry about food shortages, displacements, drought, even more extreme weather conditions, and whether the air they breathe and the water they drink is clean enough. I hope that the politicians and corporate leaders who regularly denounce climate change and financially gain from it hear us today. I hope they are happy knowing that their greed and reckless behavior helped destroy my homeland. I hope they can sleep well at night knowing that they're dooming their children and grandchildren's precious futures. And I hope that every time they buy another mansion or luxury car, they're reminded of the fact that their lush lifestyles are propped up thanks to the destruction of our planet. I hope that these strikes will show them that we will not stand for this behavior anymore, and that we will fight for a chance for a brighter and cleaner future. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to lead you in this chant. Repeat after me. We will choose, we will decide.
We will choose, we will decide.
We will fight to turn the tide.
We will fight to turn the tide.
All right, are you ready? Okay.
We will choose, we will decide. We will fight to turn the tide. We will choose, we will decide. We will fight to turn the tide.
Like the seas,
we rise. Like the temperatures, we climb. Like the seas, we rise. Like the temperatures, we climb. Like the seas, we rise. Like the temperatures, we climb. Like the seas, we rise. Like the temperatures, we climb.
So much. And now we have a statement by Caitlin from the Wellesley College Democrats.
As the people standing here, we are the future of a progressive, socially minded Democratic Party, one that is the activist party of the environment, and we are here to stay. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Now, I would like to introduce my friend and author, Sarah Young, who will perform an original poem. I'm not going to stand here because I'm definitely going to fall. People are dying, literally dying, because we refuse to listen to science. Famines and floods, droughts and hurricanes. The Koch brothers say that feelings aren't facts. Why don't they understand that just because it feels cold out doesn't mean the earth isn't warming, isn't on fire? Some think that God will save us like he did in the times of Noah, but this time we made the flood. We are the wicked people in that story, the ones the storm was sent to destroy. God saved Noah by telling him about the flood. We can't claim no one told us about climate change. Have the scientists not been trying? Have the lakes not been drying? Have the animals not been crying? Have the polar bears not been dying? If a tree is felled in a forest and no one is around to hear it except Jeff Bezos, does anyone care? Anything to get our packages sooner? Thank God for same-day shipping. But if we work together, we can change things. If we learn together, we can change things. If we come together and work together and fight together, we can change things. We can change one another. We can save one another. And we can save our planet. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sarah. That was incredible. And now I would like to introduce another friend of mine. You are all my friends, however. Lily Harold, another Wellesley College student. Hello. I am so thrilled to see so much passion and unity surrounding this vital, vital cause. Our presence here exemplifies the fact that we will not allow ourselves to become bystanders in the face of climate catastrophe. As someone who grew up on a farm in rural Appalachia, I have seen firsthand the way hydraulic fracking impacts an already economically suffering region, and I have sadly observed as unpredictable weather patterns wreaked havoc on my family's vegetable yields. On behalf of Appalachia and my vegetable garden, I thank you for stepping away from your everyday lives to participate in a global movement. As climate strikers assembled today in this square, we enjoy an enormous privilege. Countless climate refugees worldwide, displaced from their homes by ever-rising ocean tides and tumultuous storms, lack ample resources to advocate for their well-being in a public sphere. We, meanwhile, live in relative comfort. In fact, compared to those whose lives are threatened by climate devastation, our lifestyles are lavish and rife with material excess. Along with our enormous privilege comes enormous responsibility. And I invite you, each and every one of you, to take a moment and reflect on your own relationship with the natural world. I applaud you for attending a public demonstration regarding environmental activism. Truly, protesting is invigorating. But strikes like these with no follow-through do nothing to bring about progressive change. Without action, rhetoric is merely hollow ideation. In the face of a rapidly deteriorating climate, we may feel powerless. But as members of a global community, we are not ineffectual. We will not allow ourselves to stand idly by, concerned but complicit. As the Earth's ecosystems wither beneath an onslaught of fossil fuel emissions, we will hold our politicians accountable, and we will seek to spread climate awareness whenever possible. Remember, sustainability should not be seen as merely a fad or a marketing ploy. Dialogue surrounding climate change may feel uncomfortable, but growth is uncomfortable. Though impactful environmental progress will ultimately come from systematic change on the bureaucratic level, I implore you to think critically about your own lifestyle and mindset. I implore you to practice conscious consumerism, to think about who you're supporting and where you're putting your money. If we rally for environmentalism and climate awareness, yet fail to challenge corporations and institutions, cough, cough, Wellesley, then we're merely speaking into a vacuum back at ourselves. When we discuss the devastating impacts of the already occurring climate catastrophe, we often reference a nebulous obligation to future generations. But we strike today not merely for the future, nor merely out of obligation. We strike today for the necessity of action today. We strike today to give voice to all the organisms and lives and livelihoods destroyed by what should be considered a national emergency. Let me repeat that. A national emergency. Thank thank you for recognizing the necessity of collective action, the strength of unity, and the importance of self-reflection. May your vegetable gardens be in good health.
Thank you, Little League. Thank you, all of you. Now, I made up a chant that's Wellesley specific. It took me half an hour. I don't know how good it is, but we're going to give it a try. It's great. Thanks, Maggie. It goes like this. Repeat after me. Wellesley, Wellesley.
Wellesley, Wellesley.
This is our legacy.
This is our legacy.
No time to waste, pick up the pace.
No time to waste, pick up the pace.
Wellesley, Wellesley.
Wellesley, Wellesley.
Okay, now all together.
Wellesley, Wellesley. This is our legacy. No time to waste, pick up the pace. Wellesley, Wellesley. Wellesley, Wellesley.
Next, we're going to have Clarissa Cosby. She's a high schooler as well. Hello, everyone. I'm Clarissa. Today I'm going to be sharing a story. There were no rosy sunsets to bring our bright days into velvety nights. No constellations to gaze at as I peered outside my window. Instead, day and night blended together in a muddle of gray. This was my experience when staying in Beijing over the summer. At one point, I was texting a friend who has lived in Beijing for all his life, and he told me that he has never seen a blue sky. This story is sad but true, although it made me realize that this can become our reality, everyone's reality. The truth is, this continuous neglect towards the environment has added up. Just imagine us and future generations having to live in a bleak world in which the skies are gray, we are encompassed by trash, and the air we breathe becomes heavier and heavier. So please listen to Mother Nature's cry, or as Greta Thunberg said, listen to the scientists, before we get swallowed up in the dense smog of inaction. Next, we have some open time for people in the audience. First, Tulu would like to have a word with us all.
No, you just yell.
Okay, so my name is Tolulape Ashinoa. I go to Olin, but I go by Tulu for short. And so I didn't really have much to do today since I skipped classes, which is like what everyone was doing. And I realized that I had a lot of free time, and I didn't just want to rot away in my room. So I decided to walk over here. And as I was walking to the Wellesley rally, I began to think about like the environment and stuff. And I realized that these past couple of summers, the number of bees, ants, and even mosquitoes, which I hate, weren't really around. Like, it was abnormally low, and that made me kind of shook. And it all kind of comes back to like the whole idea of climate change and the things that have been going on in our environment. And so I began thinking, I wrote some notes down. So while I was walking, it was kind of like a tough walk getting here because I never really walked around here before. But the people that I met on the way were really helpful. Like, I asked them for directions, and they were all willing to help me. And even the people in the cars that were at the crosswalk allowed me to go through. And it made me realize something, that inside of all of us, we all have goodwill, and we're all willing to help our fellow people. So, along with that, with the themes that have been spoken about today, like tenderness, democracy, urgency, and community, it really is heartwarming to see how different people of different walks of life, from different ages, from toddlers to high schoolers and college people and beyond, come here for a common goal to reach. So it really makes me wonder why our schools haven't, or the curriculums always teach us about the problems that come with global warming and climate change, but not really the solutions. We should be looking for solutions that we can all agree on, because climate change is not a problem that is something that Democrats all agree on or something that Republicans agree on. It's an apolitical issue that affects all of us. Yeah. And like Greta Thunberg said, we should be treating this issue like it's our house on fire. So,
Woo!
that was mentioned with democracy is that we tend to look at the very top of the offices, like the president, but we always kind of tend to overlook our local government. And the local government is really underrated because the local government is where we can see effects the closest. So I believe that if we all want to really bring change, we should try to influence our local governments as much as possible. Because if you look throughout history, that's where the most change was made. Nihilists may say that nothing matters and that everyone is inherently self-seeking, but I would say that that's not the case because, like the phrase goes, every mighty ocean was once a little drop. If it weren't for the people that decided to stand against the tyrannical leader during World War II, the people who decided to help those in the burning buildings on 9/11, the people who decided to fight for women's rights and rights of people of color during the mid-20th century, and the people who decided to walk out during their school year last year or 2 years ago, we wouldn't have seen the positive changes that we see today and hopefully for tomorrow as well. So I want to say, as a last remark for everybody here, that the nihilists are right about one thing, that we're all flawed, but that only means that together we are a whole lot more effective in our efforts of making things right with the planet, because if we don't have a planet B, so yeah.
Thank you so much, Kalu. So next we'll have Justin announce our next speaker.
I would like to welcome Evan from the Sunrise Movement. Here.
Hey everybody, my name is Ian Meverak and I am with the Sunrise Movement and also with Renewable Native. It's my pleasure to be here on the day of probably the biggest climate action the world has ever seen, and we're all a part of it. Yeah. I was here with my daughters and then they got tired, so I took them home and came back. And I want to invite all of you, if you're interested, to sign up. We are forming a Metro West hub of the Sunrise Movement. Next month we have a Green New Deal Town Hall plan in Natick, so we hope you'll turn out for that. And basically what we're doing in the Sunrise Movement, if you haven't heard of it, is we're building an army of young people who are coming together to challenge the CEOs of oil companies and gas companies, and who are coming together to confront our leaders in Washington, confront our leaders in Boston, and demand that they take climate action, or we will vote them out. So it's a kind of confrontational movement. It's a joyful movement. We sing, we build community, we develop our voices, and then we move together into action. So please sign up, because the best thing you could do to make change, if you want to sustain the momentum of this moment, is to join a group, to join a movement, and come together with others. Thanks.
Thank you so much. So Senator Roche from the Massachusetts Senate is on her way. Senator Roche, are you here? And I can't see you. No? Okay. Yeah. So we have a couple more things. Hopefully she'll get here soon. We have some things to plug. If you feel like this is going to get you going and you want to continue with your action towards climate justice, tomorrow at 11 a.m. on the Wellesley College campus, there will be Solutions for Change, Build Community, Network Ideas, with farmers Lisa, Elizabeth, and Aiden of Woodland Harvest Farm in Northern Carolina?
Yeah, North Carolina. We host you all as your alternative spring break. And we live off the grid on very, very little power. And there's a couple of alumni in the ranks. Lily was there, Melissa and Jenny, and Paloma, and I don't know, there's all kind of people. But tomorrow at 11 outside of the Multi-Faith Center, we'll be talking about all kind of cool ways to build community and actually manifest some of these solutions we want to see happen.
Do not let our people die.
Climate change is not a lie. Do not let our people die.
Climate change is not a lie. Do not let our children die.
Climate change is not a lie. Do not let our children die.
Climate change is not